Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video games designed to frustrate you. For this list, we'll be going over the games whose design elements are intentionally difficult or annoying. We won't be including any Flash games or older games whose difficulty was due to when they were made, like bad controls or hardware limitations. If there's a game whose developers clearly had it out for the players, let us know in the comments. Number 10. PT. Also known as Playable Teaser, PT is a favorite of streamers and Let's Players. However, part of its appeal is how obtusely designed it is. In PT, players enter the hallway of a seemingly deserted house, perceiving various clues and puzzles within it. But upon leaving the hallway, you return to where you started. The frustration of being unable to leave is part of the horror experience, as it leaves you feeling trapped with no escape. The puzzles are also quite cryptic, and discovering how they work without a guide can be an exercise in aggravation, almost as aggravating as the game it teases being cancelled. Number 9. Returnal. We could have chosen pretty much any roguelike here, but we elected for a more recent entry in the genre. In Returnal, you play as Celine, a pilot stranded on an alien world. She soon finds herself stuck in a time loop, returning after every death with slight variations on the world.
I've discovered a kind of technology that records the past, or a visual archive of sorts.
Although an update has since allowed one, Returnal wasn't designed with a save feature. This forces players to continuously play and die repeatedly to make any progress. It helps put you in Celine's mindset, but it's certainly a maddening one to be in.
There's no comfort here. No safe space.
Number 8. Ninja Gaiden 2.
Yet, even the deepest slumber can be disrupted by a single strike of lightning.
The Ninja Gaiden games have a reputation for difficulty, but we would argue that the most frustrating in the series, at least among the more modern titles, is Ninja Gaiden 2. When you're in a groove, slaughtering enemies in spectacular fashion, Ninja Gaiden 2 is untouchable and a ton of fun. Unfortunately, it's far more frequent that you're surrounded by powerful enemies on all sides that hit you before you can react or tell where they even came from. It's a hack and slash game where you're primarily the one getting hacked and slashed. Number 7. Hotline Miami. Imagine if GTA Vice City was made by David Lynch and it was a top-down shooter. That's the game, and much like Lynch's filmography, Hotline Miami is difficult to understand. Gameplay sees you clear a series of levels divided into small rooms filled with enemies. Although the enemies usually die fairly easily, so do you. This makes getting through even one level a study in trial and error just to discover the best way to take down each enemy, and even then, the AI can surprise you. Hotline Miami is a neon-drenched death parade for everyone involved. Number 6. VVV. A beloved indie puzzle platformer with the most puzzling aspect being its central mechanic, reversing gravity. In fact, VVV leans into this so heavily that you can't even jump. By manipulating gravity, you need to traverse room after room filled with spikes and enemies. Although there are checkpoints spaced out pretty regularly, VVV is nevertheless a very challenging and irritating experience sometimes. Thankfully, the fantastic soundtrack will keep you company while you accidentally send yourself flying to your death again. Number 5. Super Meat Boy. When cooking meat, it often takes a lot of experimentation to get it just right. And Super Meat Boy is the same, only with a lot more buzzsaws. As a precision platformer, it requires a lot of do-overs to get each level down perfectly, with slipping, sliding, blind, or dangerous jumps aplenty, and a lot of memorization of patterns. It can make you want to bash your head against the nearest wall, but executing the perfect run is that much more satisfying because of all of the work you put in to making it happen. Number 4. Ghosts and Goblins franchise. We honestly couldn't choose one. They're all brutal. This long-running franchise has a standard setup, in which a knight must rescue a princess, only the execution is downright fiendish. In most of the games, getting hit even a few times will result in death, or running around in your underwear. Not only that, but beating the whole game sends the player back to the start of it, which you then have to complete again, but on an even harder difficulty. Talk about medieval torture. Number 3. Battle Kid: Fortress of Peril. A recent retro game released on the classic NES, Battle Kid: Fortress of Peril is a Nintendo hard game made in the modern age. Although modeled somewhat after the run-and-gun platformers of yesteryear, Battle Kid also takes inspiration from deliberately unfair Flash games. Getting hit once is instant death, and most screens in the game feature a tough platforming puzzle or enemies that must be bypassed to progress, with the solution often a matter of key timing. This difficulty is especially noticeable on the bosses. Still, if that's your kind of a game, Battle Kid is a pretty fun throwback. Number 2. Souls franchise. One of the most infamous gaming franchises out there, the Souls games have a well-earned reputation for frustration. Checkpoints are few and far between, levels are full of enemies and pitfalls, and the bosses are massive, have particular patterns, and are guaranteed to obliterate you at least once. Get good isn't just a meme for these games, it's a necessity. Even the most skilled players can feel discouraged though, and that's part of the appeal. When the next challenge is finally overcome, you'll want to praise the sun. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through might be too much.
Quite possibly one of the strangest games ever made, Getting Over It sees players control a man in a cauldron as he uses nothing but a large hammer to propel himself up a mountain. The awkward, rotating control scheme makes making any progress a challenge, and said progression can be easily lost since it's not difficult to fall right back down.
No amount of forward progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery, and the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything.
Oh, and did we mention there are no checkpoints? All the while, creator Bennett Foddy narrates bits of commentary about frustration and tenacity. Few games have introduced as many rage quits as this head-scratching hike.
Have you thought about who you are in this? Are you the man in the pot, Diogenes? Are you his hand? Are you the top of his hammer? I think not.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.